Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I am super excited to come to you today with another fresh episode for your Friday. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you've had a good week out there, been crushing it this week. We've had some rain off and on, but we're getting at it, having a strong end of the week, probably working Saturday morning, honestly, getting Christmas lights up, but that's a good problem to have, right? So excited to come to you today with a great guest interview. I'm going to have a short intro here because I want to kick it over to David and let him take the show away today. We have it's such a great conversation, guys. You have to listen to this episode the entire way through because we talk about so many growth tips, points, things along the way that you're going to see and go through. It's so crucial. So we have David Perdue on. He's the owner of Greenview Landscape in Memphis, Tennessee. They are transitioning into a major commercial player in their field, in their area, and doing some big things in their company. He's 23. He's a young guy, $2.5 million company, making big moves. And so I appreciate David's time coming on today and spending some time with us. I hope you guys enjoy it. Reach out to him, follow him along on LinkedIn, Facebook, socials, all those things he talks about at the end of the show where you can follow along with him. But reach out to David if you want to. Say thanks for coming on the show because it was a great one. And I hope that you all enjoy it. But without any further ado, let's kick it over to David and let him take it away.
All right, man. We're here with David. David, take it away, buddy.
Awesome. So I'm David Perdue, own Greenview Landscape Services, born and raised here in Memphis, Tennessee, proud Memphian. And, growing up, we've been in business for 5 years now. So growing up, I went to a private school from my first grade through ninth grade. And then I went to my parents got divorced in ninth grade, and that was a major turning point in my life. And in 10th, 11th, 12th, I went to a high school or a public school. And in my junior year, I started working for a lawn care company. And my senior year of high school, I kind of thought this is pretty easy work. I can start to do some of this stuff on my own. And so I started raking leaves on the side, manually hand raking leaves myself. And I remember my first ever job that I did. It was over in Germantown off of Riverdale. And I think I made $60 one afternoon after school. And I thought, man, if I can do this 4 or 5 days a week, I'm going to be crushing
it. Yeah.
And then I remember, getting my first leaf blower. And it was when I got a leaf blower, it was it just felt like I was printing money at that point. And then it got even bigger because we got a leaf vacuum and it was awesome. And so, my story may be like most of your viewer, or this part may be like most of your viewers, or may not be, but because I started the same senior year of high school, that divorce is still going on, and there wasn't much of an emphasis for me to go to college at all. And, when it came time to graduate, I didn't feel like I had a lot of smarts, but I felt like I could work harder than anybody else that you put me up against. And I was always willing to bet on my work ethic. I was very, very confident in that. And from day one out of high school in May of 2019, I was out there in the field. And, I think one thing, and by the way, cut me off I have a canned 60-second version of the story.
No, take it and run with it. Take it and run with it, dude.
And I'm totally good on time today. So it's rainy here. So a lot of meetings we got canceled. And so I was always willing to bet on my work ethic. And, it's the buck would stop with me, and I just knew I can work through this. And I'm also too a very strong believer in my faith. I'm a Christian, and I put a lot. There's a lot that the Lord has done in my life that no spreadsheet could ever try to make sense of, no consultant could ever try to make sense of. So there's some of that sprinkled in there as well. But anyways, coming out of high school, we were at that point, probably like a lot of your audiences. I think my my revenues in my first year of senior year of high school were like $60,000, and then I got out of high school and we were like 170, and then we jumped to like 700,000 2020, and that was awesome. That was a lot of fun. And
wait. What was the gap between you went from 170 to 700?
Yeah, 170
in
to
1 year.
Yeah, and
that's a big gap to gloss over. Oh my gosh! All right, well, we got a lot to unpack. Keep going.
Well,
dude.
so it sounds cool and it sounds awesome and whatnot. And then 2022, I think I'm on top of the world, crushing it, a massive ego, and have a really hard reset year. Okay, so it's better. But anyway, so that was a lot of fun. I think for the viewers out there, and I didn't realize this at the time, but what helped me so much early on was having a right-hand man. You got to have one guy that you can really, really depend on. And he doesn't have to be some clean-cut, customer-facing, sales-oriented guy. My first right-hand man was not like that at all. But, man, he handled so much of the operation that I could go out there and sell. And I think, I've never really been one to get caught up on leaf blowers, lawn mowers, all the different types of stuff out there. I call all that mental. I don't know. I love sales, and so I was like, you know what? After I sell a project, I don't want to get caught up in the production of it. Yeah. I don't want to get caught up in the order of materials. I just want to go sell some more.
Yeah.
And so that was a huge stepping stone for us. So that, as well as getting into more project type work, because we used to be a very, very project oriented company. We wanted to do projects. We were focused on big projects. That was it. And so I think right-hand man, combination of that and projects is what helped jump revenue a lot. And also too, I think just being in the right place at the right time, too many times more than I deserve, helps a lot with that as well. So, in this industry, the turnover, the frontline worker, the people that this industry mostly recruits, it's nobody said, unfortunately, and I'm trying to say this in the least passive aggressive way possible, nobody comes out of high school and is I want to go be a landscaper. People get out of high school and they're I'm going to go be a plumber, I'm going to go be a welder.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that just kind of end up in this industry because they have no other option.
They had nothing else going on. Yep.
Yeah, and turnover is one of those things, man. It just kills you. And when you get some guys, you start to hold on to them, and they, you kind of start to figure out how each other work. Just the efficiency builds so much. And so that was a really big stepping stone to me, was getting that right hand man. And I would say this for back then, and I would still say it for today. Being decisive. I think the most successful people in life are the most decisive people. You don't have to make the right decision. You just have to make the decision right.
Yeah.
And you don't know until you ever try. And my big thing that I'm really big on is people. I think we all as humans spend too much time getting ready to get ready.
Yeah.
And we have meetings about meetings. And, things move so slow when all that stuff's going on. And so I think really just making decisions quick. I mean, we made some stupid decisions, but we learned real quick, and you just don't know until you try. So that helped a ton. I hope that kind of answers your question. I'm having a hard time remembering what your original question was.
No, you're good.
But what do you want to?
I think so. So we got up to 2020 there, 700 revenue. Let's breeze through up to 24, and then we'll go back and unpack some things. Let's catch us up to where we are today, if you don't mind, and then we'll go back through and kind of unpack that journey, because it sounds like there is a lot there to unpack.
Yeah, so today where we're hyper-focused in building our maintenance commercial side of the business, and we're hyper-focused in building our commercial install division. We're trying to get to a 75-25 split in our portfolio, if you will, to where 75% of our revenues come from maintenance and 25% come from install. Today we're about 25 employees. We're coming up on the end of the year, and we're going to land right at 2.6 million in revenues.
Yeah.
And our maintenance revenues are probably 35-40% of that.
So you want to make a big shift then.
Yeah, because last year, we were about 10% of our revenues were maintenance, 90 was install.
Wow.
So we're going really, really hard to get really intentional about this install thing, because we primarily want to be going hard about
the maintenance thing.
Maintenance thing. We want to really be maintenance and enhancements.
Yeah.
And the only reason why we do new installs is to try to get their maintenance.
To get the maintenance work, yeah.
And the end all be all game is maintenance. When most of your business is made up of maintenance, things are very smooth, they're very predictable, labor's predictable. I mean, everything's predictable. And then also too,
training.
we always, I'm not planning on selling anytime soon, but if you go look at the companies that do maintenance work, and it's a lot of commercial maintenance and enhancement work, the multiples are significantly higher. And it's just easier work too than doing residential. So especially high-end residential. We really want to be like maintenance and enhancement. Enhancement, I don't know if y'all have gotten into those yet, but enhancement is any install that we do for a maintenance client. Mm-hmm. And an install is any install that we do for a non-maintenance client.
A new lead, a new customer. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, enhancements, we sell those things at a much higher gross margin. They're very, very profitable. And we like maintenance because it's recurring revenues. Install work, we get in there and really, really discount install work because we want to get their maintenance work right. And so,
why do you think you sell that at such a higher gross margin? The enhancement side, is it because like your customers trust you? They want to pay for you to do the work.
So,
what do you mean by that?
Our install work, a lot of it's all bid work.
Okay.
So we're going up against 5, 10, 15 other companies.
I got you.
Scrapping really hard for it. And also too, when you have when you're already doing maintenance work for a customer, they already know what it's like working for you.
Yeah, they trust you. They most of the time, if you're doing good, they just want you to do it. They don't care about the price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's just much more profitable work, and they're easy projects. So we've done enhanced, we literally did $120,000 project last year, and some of the other companies would probably disagree with me for this, but we marked that as an enhancement in our system. So in all of on our P&Ls, we track maintenance, install, enhancement, and irrigation. Yeah, those are the 4 things that we monitor revenues in. And so that $120,000 enhancement job that we did, we consider that an enhancement because they're a maintenance client.
I like that. I've never heard it said that way, because I'm in the middle of. In our software right now, we got your divisions, like you just said, and I'm like, what do we put design build versus enhancement versus new install, right? Like that's cool. I like that. I think that I'll probably honestly adapt that into our system moving forward. Current customer enhancement. I like that.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it makes your quality of your earnings are higher quality if they're all coming from those customers instead of like our year that we did $700,000. There was a project in there that was $150,000 of that. Mm-hmm. I mean, $700,000 is cool, but $150,000 of that, your year looks like if you took that project away, your year looks completely different.
Yep. So,
getting kind of focused on the quality of our earnings and making them higher quality. So, that's kind of to wrap that up to full circle. That's where we're at today. We're pursuing the commercial maintenance. We're only pursuing commercial maintenance now. We are still doing some residential install. We'll keep doing that for a little while, but we're going to end up eventually, probably towards the end of next year, just be doing commercial install work. And, I'll be honest, we're not trying to be the Ferrari and the Lamborghinis of landscape companies out there. We want to cut grass, lay mulch, pick up leaves on our maintenance side. And on our install side, we want to put plants in the ground, do sod, do drainage, and irrigation.
Yeah.
And, we want to show up, clean up, fess up, do what we say we're going to do, deliver at quality, but we're not trying to be some big gardening company out here. Yeah. And we want do those things, and we want to do them in mass volume at high scale. And I think too, like over these last couple of years, we used to do like pools, outdoor kitchens, patios, all kinds of stuff, man. And all of those, like I just had shiny object syndrome, and any opportunity popped out, we just went after it. And I just realized, it's not scalable to do that. Like I can do it all, but if I do it all, I'm going to hit a cap pretty quick.
Yep.
So we've really narrowed it down, and we are pursuing those things. And it's just the power of a positive no. There's a book out there called that. It's just saying no to some things, and there's growth that comes with that. So that's where we're at today. That's where we're headed. And our thing now is really working on trying to build a management structure inside the organization and grow our leadership team, because it's pretty narrow at the top right now. We all have a lot on our plate, have to wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
So
I love it, man. Dude, there's so much to unpack. This could be a 6-week series, I swear. Just hearing the get-go from the beginning, because I can tell you what you're talking about is what a lot of guys are going through. The early years, I guess you could say, and not what they're going through. What you're doing now is what a lot of guys are trying to achieve. That's a better way to put that. And I know you feel like you're in the thick of it right now, because that's what you feel like at every stage, right? But at every stage, also, you have someone looking up to you, and that's whether you're doing 10,000 in revenue. Guess what? You got somebody who's never started that's looking up to you, right? Like you're always impacting and influencing someone. And so there's a lot of guys out there. A huge portion of this industry is striving to hit that $1 million mark. And so now you're right above that, pushing in between that 2.5 to 5. That's a whole different level and tier to be in. Different problems, different struggles. But let's go back to 2020. So how old are you, by the way, if you don't mind me asking?
23.
23, okay. So you were fresh out of high school then in 2020, because you're a year younger than I am. So, okay. So I'm assuming, I'm going to make some assumptions here. Correct me if I'm wrong. Were you living at home?
Yeah.
Were you single?
Yeah.
Cool. So these are things that I always like to preface with, because when people hear stories like this, oh, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, why are they doing this, why are they doing that? I love that you grew the way you grew. It's totally different if you have a wife and kids. And you know that. You would say that, right? Like it's a totally different ballgame. The amount the risk that you can take, the investments you can make, the cash flow you can put back into the company, totally different ballgame. So guys, if you're listening to this, let me preface this by saying, do not get down on your luck if you think, well, I'm stuck at 500,000, right? I just can't get there. Totally different ballgame. Not taking anything away from the way that you grew. I'm just saying, let's look at it with those eyes on. So back to 2020, you go from 170 to 700. What did that gap look like? I mean, that is literally that's almost 3.5 times growth.
Yeah.
And I mean, what did you just survive that year? Were you thriving that year? What was it? What were the keys to that? Did you just delegate everything? Because I mean, that's a crazy jump, but there had to be some principles in there that you took that have turned you into who you are today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a big methodical answer to that than just pray.
I love it. Hey, I'm a fellow believer, a fellow Christian. There's a lot that goes into that. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah, I mean, we're in charge, but we're not in control.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but like, what would that look like every day? I mean, I remember it was very stressful. The turnover was one that just always just kicked my bottom. And, there would be days where, I think in 2020, I want to say we had like 6 or 7 employees, like 2 crews, I think is what we were running at. And there would be days, man, where people just aren't guys just wouldn't show up to work. And it's like, so, my day's planned out. The guys are going to come in. I got a couple sales meetings here. We got to go look at this, yada, yada, yada. And then people don't come in, and it's like, I got to go out there on the truck. And
I know that feeling all too well.
The anxiety, like the stress that comes there'd be days where, I mean, there's days where, the anxiety and the stress is so bad. Like I'm at the shop and I'm thrown up in the morning, dude. I mean, it's rough. But I was like, I got to get this thing figured out. And I think for me, like my upbringing, parents getting divorced, no money to ever go do anything at all. I said, you know what? My first couple of years, I want to focus on building my career and building my nest egg, and then I'll go like pursue girls, or I'll normally there's so many people that like get out of college and like they're already married, and then they focus on the career, and it was just flip flop for me. I wouldn't say I intentionally put it like that, but I kind of wanted to get like kind of my whole career thing figured out first. But I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, you got to be willing to work a lot. I think at our age, there's too many people that think, oh, I should blank. And like, okay, like you don't have a wife, you don't have any kids, you don't have a house. There is literally no better time than right now to go and do this thing. And people sit there and they think, oh, I should be able to go out on Wednesday night or Thursday nights with my friends and go out to the bar and go drink. Oh, I should be able to go to the lake every single weekend, like Friday, like early Friday through Sunday type thing. And I don't know, man. It's like there's not a whole lot going on in my personal life right now. There's no better time than the present to go just full send. And you can, a few years of hard times can really lead to a lifetime full of glory.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just kind of what I live by. And I mean, I've always loved hard work, never been scared of it. And, adversity, never, you're either coming out of adversity, you're going into adversity, or you're in adversity. Like adversity's there. You may as well face it and run straight towards it, because there's going to be a lot of it in your life. And, I mean, that's just, I think, I'm trying to think of like the thoughts that were going through my head in like 2020, but, I just come home every day, like just filthy as all get out, truck's just always so dirty because I'm just running nonstop and picking up trailers, moving to this job. But I mean, I think the word that defines it is like scrap and be resilient.
Grit.
Yeah.
That's my go-to word there. Grit.
Yeah.
That's good, man. And the thing is that everything you just said though is like totally what I expected you to say. Like that is because that's where, like, that's just the truth of it. That's just what it's like. That where you're at is where I am right now. Like where you were back then is where I'm at right now, and all of those things.
Well, have you ever heard of the book 10X is easier than 2X?
I've not. No. Is that a Grant book, or is it a
what?
Is it a Cardone book, the 10X thing, or is it's not related to that? Okay.
No. So, they say like your most recent book that you read is always your most favorite book.
Yeah.
And I couldn't read this book, but I got to say, it's got some really cool principles. And what it says is essentially, and I think you got to try to wrap your head around the concept here, but I think it's really imperative when you're at that $500,000 point to go from 500,000 to $1 million. That's 2X. You can do that with your existing manpower, maybe add another guy or two. You just work twice as hard.
Yeah.
But if you want to go 10X, if you want to go from 500,000 to 5 million, you can't work twice as hard and do that. You have to completely change the things that you do. Yeah. And when you're at your size in business, if you look at your calendar throughout the week, you should look at it and realize, okay, how much of what I was doing this week was actually just doing regular maintenance, not maintenance like lawns, but just regular, like sending quotes out, like administrative work. And then how much of what I did this week was actually change state things.
Yeah.
That actually
grow the business.
Yeah. So it's like working on the business, working in the business. And so that book talks a lot about that. And it's like, if you want to go 10X, you have to change, like you have to, the 20% that you do right now to grow the business, you have to make that your 80, and the 20% stuff that you do right now.
Yeah, you're right.
Or the 80% stuff that you do right now, you have to make that 20. You have to have somebody else do it. You have to do something different to go from 500,000 to 5 million, because that's a massive change. And so, I think sometimes people in this industry and other industries, they kind of hit, when you're on the truck out there and doing maintenance work, I don't know, you're probably going to cap out at 300, 400, 500,000. Probably just depends what kind of market you're in, whether you're commercial, residential. But it's like, if you want to go to the next step, man, you just got to embrace the change. Like, things are going to have to be done differently. You're going to have to be intentional about it. You can't just keep doing what you keep doing every day. Otherwise, you'll literally wake up 30 years from now making the same amount of money you're making today and doing the exact same things.
And just have a beat dead body. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I say this like humbly. I don't mean this egotistically, but I like from very early on, I was like, I know I'm way more capable of than just running a weed eater all day long.
Yeah.
And I think I would be a bad steward of my talents and gifts if I just sat in this truck and ran a weed eater all day long. I think I can do something much greater than this, and I need to go be a good steward of those gifts.
Yeah.
Because I've done nothing to earn them.
Yep.
So.
No, 100%. That's where I'm at. We're trying to make those changes right now. When did you make those first changes as far as like freeing up some more of your time? Because that whole getting out of the truck thing, that's where a lot of our audience gets hung up, is what can I do to get out of the field more, to go sell? I'm too busy. I literally was watching a story the other day. A good buddy of mine said he was, I'll say his name, Aaron Strunk is his name. He owns a lawn care company. He posted on social. That's the reason I'm going to say it. But he posted it, and he was like, I have to fix this next year. He pulled up to a property, one of his customers' properties. He cuts their lawn, cut it for years or however long. Loyal customer to him, cut their property, pulls up, and there's a whole new landscape in there. A whole new landscape. And he was like, what the heck? How did I not know about this? How did I not even get a chance? He has no time to be able to even let his customers know that he does these services, much less go out and quote the work. The customer never even reached out to him. And he was like, something has to change. And that's across the board. So many guys run through this and get hung up on that stage of, but the problem is you have to realize that people can do things better than you. And even if they can't do it as good, maybe they're doing it 80% as good as you are. That's really good for the customer. And so what was that shift like for you? Did you just naturally get that? Were you just gifted with that of like being able to delegate easier? Was it tough for you to do? Because I think you laugh, but I think there's some truth to that. And it's a joke, but there's some truth. There are people that cannot let go of things. And some people are like, take it and run with it. And so I think that some people are blessed with that. So what did that look like for you, that process of, delegating the field work, and then also the second part of this is the office side as well? When did you hire your admin and all that?
Yeah, I mean, my question to Aaron would be, how long do you want to allow this thing to keep holding you back?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody can do it for you.
Yeah.
You have to do it, and it's change, and it's tough, and it can be scary. And you're going to go through a suck factor too. Like the year that somebody that's in that position that he's in, the year where they get out of the field and put somebody else in that truck, they're going to make a lot less money that year. Yeah. I mean, it's just that you go through suck factors in business.
Yeah.
And some people just aren't willing to wait, man. And I can't empathize with the guys out there that are married and have kids, especially. I mean, I know some guys that got 5, 6 kids. I mean, I just don't know.
And that's Aaron's case. Aaron's got a wife. He's got 2 kids. So, like, he's got his family relying on him. And so I feel that. Like, I've got a wife. I've got a kid. I've got one on the way. Like, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to decide what you want your future to look like.
Yeah, man, I would probably defer to some Dave Ramsey right there and say just build up a massive nest egg. I mean, stack cash, get a year in reserves or something, and then go do it. I mean,
so go a step further into this. Why do you say that? Because somebody who may not be as business minded as you are, they may be like, well, why do I not need to pay myself more, right? And I know it sounds kind of a simple question to you, but actually hit on that. Why does somebody not need to pay themselves more? What is the catalyst there that will help them grow?
Well, so I think one thing, I think it's a unique perspective. I think one of the best ways to grow your business quick is like pay yourself as much as you possibly can. There's too many guys out there that, and like I fell into this for a while too. It's like, I'm just going to pay myself $50,000 a year.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to reinvest all this money back into the business. The truth of the matter is, like, us high performers don't want to go back, don't want to have a setback, and we will do whatever it takes in our human strength to sit there and fight to make sure we don't have to take a step back. And so go pay yourself, go pay yourself 150 grand a year, go pay yourself, 200 grand a year, and try to figure it out in the business how to make it work. And that's like that profit first mentality is like, we're going to put profit first, and then we're going to figure out everything else past that after profit. And I think too many times we sit there and we get all the bills paid and okay, like whatever's left over, like that's what I'll take home. And a guy taught me that, a mentor, Nick, who's poured so much into me. And I got to say it works. And like the first couple of months of me doing it, I was like really unsure about it because I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this. But I just wasn't spending the money. And if the business ran out of cash, that money's literally right there on my personal checking account. Just put it back in business. It's okay. But yeah, I mean, pay yourself as much as you possibly can and figure out a way to make it work. I think the other piece of that too, and I don't want to get too down far on a rabbit hole on this, but is you have to realize when you look at your financials. So like, let's say business did $1 million. The net income for the business was $100,000 or $150,000 after I paid myself $50,000, let's say. Okay. You would look at your P&L and say, okay, we did $1 million. The net income after I paid myself 50 grand was $150,000. So you would sit there and look at your books and say, hey, we're running on 15% profit. That's rock solid. 15% profit's really good in this industry when you're in the millions. But you're really kind of like lying to yourself because you're not paying yourself a fair market wage.
You're not, You ain't doing nothing on 50 grand with a family nowadays.
And if you get hit by a bus and you've got to go pay a CEO to go in there and run that business, he ain't going to work for 50 grand.
Yeah.
He's going to work for 150. So then you flip flop those numbers and it's like, okay, I'm paying somebody 150 grand. Business did $1 million. After I paid him 150 grand, the business only made 50 grand. And so, you kind of like lie to yourself on profit margin stuff when you aren't paying yourself a fair market salary.
Yep.
And there's a book out there. It's Simple Talk, Straight Talk, or Simple Numbers, Big Profits, and Straight Talk, something like that, by Greg Buston that talks all about this. And I really hope it's Greg Buston. If it's not Greg Buston, it's somebody else. But anyways, and that book talks a lot about that. It's really, really good. So that's that. Circling back, what was your original question?
I'm going to play devil's advocate here, and because I know you have a reason for what you said, but I'm going to push back in a sense.
Yeah.
And to Aaron, you said you're going to have to make less money one year, but then you said you'll pay yourself more than you've ever paid yourself. So how do you bring those two together? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think if you have a plan, put a plan in place with that. First off, don't just go into that haphazardly. And the truth of the matter is like one's just for a seasonal life, and the other concept is like for eternity.
There you go.
And it's just a suck factor. I mean, it's not like, you're just going to be making less money for a shorter period of time. Maybe you don't pay yourself anything less. Maybe the business just makes less.
Correct.
I mean, I could play devil's advocate to what you just said right there. And maybe this year on the business, I'm going to stay taking home 100 grand, but the business is only going to profit 3 or 4%.
Yep.
That's what I would say.
Yeah. No, I don't. Go ahead.
And if you keep growing, you shouldn't stay in that suck factor.
Yeah. And it is because like I'm in that moment. I'm not trying to keep pulling all this back to me. What I'm trying to tell you guys out there listening.
Yeah, I don't mind at all.
David knows what he's talking about because he's talking about things in past tense that he knows nothing. David knows nothing about my situation. We met today. He knows nothing about my business other than he knows I own a company. Everything he's saying is 100% relevant in my life right now. Like in this stage of business where we're at, it's right now. And so like I got a wife and a kid on the way, right? So like I have to my salary has increased, the company profit has decreased, right? And so but my salary's not changing. Like I'm not taking less. I determined that a year and a half ago, like, hey, I'm making this much money. We're sticking through it. The business is going to struggle along the way. There's going to be times where cash flow's tight. And this is where being single, living at home is great because you can you can pour that cash back into the company, right? But there's a certain amount of money I have to have every single month to live. No doubt about it. Like you got to figure it out. And so have there been times through this year where cash flow sucked in the company? 100%. Have I taken the same check?
Absolutely, man.
Exactly. But am I still paying myself? Absolutely. And so, like, the company will get through it. It will survive. There'll be ups and downs, but our life is manageable. It's sustainable. And also, if you are, let me give some advice to you, the guys that are married. Like, if you want to get your wife on board and you want to help and you want to grow your company, and you think she's holding you back, or you think she's scared or worried, you have to prove to her that you can support her financially and your family. Like, to me, my wife, when we talk about finances, it is, and it's just the way, if your wife's not business minded, then, and all women don't have to be business minded. Your wife doesn't have to be business minded. If you own a business together, she doesn't have to work in it, right? There's nothing saying that she does. If you talk about finances, the majority of the time, your spouse is hearing your personal finances, not the business. That's not what she wants to hear about. So if I go to her and we talk about, now, does the business fund my finances? Yes. But that's my job, to run the business and make the business profitable and get through the ups and the downs. She knows at the end of the day, look, our personal finances are in order. We are making money. We're setting money aside. We're doing the things. We're investing. And it allows her to get on board much faster and much easier with your purchases, your risks, all those things, when she knows no matter what, your family's going to be taken care of, and the business, you figure that out on the backside. So
yeah, I'll add to that. You touched on it with risk, and you're talking to all the married folks out there, or the married guys out there, and I think all of you unmarried or not single guys out there, or engaged guys, or guys that are seriously dating, like, I think you probably need to have a serious conversation with your significant other about risk and what their tolerance is.
Yep.
Because that will, man, I think that could really, I'm not speaking in past tense right here because I'm kind of out of my, above my pay grade on this. But I think that, if you and your wife are not on the same page about risk and stuff, I think it can just bring on a lot of hard times. And so I would figure out a way to have that conversation and dive into it, man.
Hit it head on. Have the hard conversations early like that. It's cool to hear you say that. I'm not trying to give you advice because you, like I said, your business is growing and stuff. But for someone, you're not married yet, like, dude, be as open and as honest. Have the hard conversations on day one. Like,
yeah, and it's kind of like what I said earlier. A couple of hard years can lead to a lifetime full of glory. Mm-hmm. I've learned this with employees. A hard 5-minute conversation can lead to a lifetime full of glory. Yeah. I mean, it's all relative. And the other piece, I'll touch on it once again. I don't have any big methodical answer on this, but I don't know how people do it without faith. I mean, there's so many times. I was having this conversation with somebody last night, and I was like, there's been so many times where you look at the spreadsheets and, like, the math ain't mathing. It's very, very scary. And it's like, I just sit here and it's like, Lord, just give me what I need to get through today. I'm not going to worry about tomorrow, not going to worry about payroll, not going to worry about when the credit card's due. And if he's going to make sure that the birds and the crickets are going to eat out there, it's going to be okay. And the second piece that I'll add to that is you and I, everybody out here, everybody listening, we have a really, really high success record or track record, a really good looking track record for all the troubles that we've made it through in the past. We've made it through. There's a very, very high probability that you're going to make it through whatever comes your way next in the future. And it's not going to kill you. We're all still here.
Yep. And like I said, there's going to be the suck factor. There's going to be a hard time. But guess what? The sun will still come up tomorrow. You will still get up and you will still hit it head on. So, like,
and I'm a really big perspective guy. I think perspective drives performance every single day of the week. And I think too many people quit, not because of what they do, but because they forget why they do what they do.
Yep.
And so, And
that's very easy to do when you're caught in the hustle and bustle of the day-to-day grind. That's the problem.
That, and also, too, just the money, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, when money's the only motivating factor, it's just so shallow. It's horrible.
Yeah. It's not satisfying once you receive it. That's the thing. You get it. And then you're not fulfilled. You want to get
I know. Like, where I'm at today, like, this is like every year. And I think of it like at my birthday. I don't know why. But I think about it like, okay, where I'm at today, like a year ago or 5 years ago, I would have been looking at myself today thinking like, golly, this guy's killing it. He's got to be so happy. And here I am today. I mean, I'm still hungry for more. Yeah. I'm content, but I'm not, I guess, satisfied.
Ah, that's so crazy. You know nothing about me. And I say that all the time. Content, content, never satisfied.
Yeah. Okay. I just kind of
Yeah.
pulled that out, but
Content, never satisfied. That is like one of my go-tos. It's so good because biblically and faith, we are called to be content where God has us, but I don't think you have to be satisfied.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, man. And I think too. What are there like 11 fruits of the spirit? Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and grit's not one of them.
Not one. Can we add one in?
Well, no, I'm saying it. We get too caught up on the grit and stuff.
Correct. Yeah.
And it doesn't define us or anything.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyways, so
yeah. No, I got you. It is. It's something that the grit needs to be there. Yes, time to time, but it doesn't have to be the only driving factor. You just have to know when. You got to know when to plug into it because there's got to be.
Yeah.
There's got to be times where you got to just put your head in and go. But yeah, that's awesome, man. So. Let's talk, if you don't mind, can we talk about the reset year a little bit? What did that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So this was 2021, so in 2021, November, we're at like, I think 968 in revenues. And profit was looking really good. And I remember walking out of like my accountant's office and I was like, wow, man, like I'm killing it. And I started to get this kind of like ego on my shoulders and this big head. And turns out that our bookkeeper that we had at the time did not know the difference between cash accounting and accrual accounting. And for those of you guys out there that don't know those differences, please go like read on it. I won't explain it here, but go read on it because I wish, especially the guys that are in the project side, you really, really need to understand the difference. But anyway, so this guy didn't know the difference between cash and accrual accounting. And so there was some projects that we did at the end of 2020, and those checks got cashed on January of 2021. Mm-hmm. And so it was like skewing the numbers, and
that was 2020 income that you got paid for in 21.
Yeah.
So your cash looked good, but yeah.
Yeah, accrual, no. And so anyways, like that November, man, we were real profitable. And I remember calling my grandfather up and I was like, Pop, my grandfather plays a really, really big role in my life. And I'm very, very grateful for him. I remember calling him up and be like, hey, Pop, if this is what it feels like to make this kind of money, then I'm going to have to go and make like 5 times this because like we're struggling right now. And I don't remember what he said, but it was at that time, early November, and that was when we started to go downhill. And when I say go downhill, it was just like cash was starting to become a really big crunch, and there was way more money going out than what was coming in. And that November and December was really pivotal, and we went through that big cash crunch. And I remember he told me, you need to go home, look at your P&L, look at every single transaction that makes up your P&L, because your P&L has to set right with your gut. If you look at your P&L and it doesn't set right with your gut, like it sounds too good to be true, you have to go in there and start spot checking. And so I go in there and I find all these transactions, and I'm like, okay, well, this is what it is. Anyway, so we get to the end of 2021, wrap it up, and we file our taxes, and I don't know, April, something like that, the next year. And turns out we had done right at $1 million, and we profited $4,000 for 2021. And the only beautiful thing that came out of that was I owed a couple $100 in taxes.
Yep. That is.
And it was just one of those points where I thought I was about to have to cough up a lot of my personal money to keep payroll going. And I remember there was I went to the bank in that November, and I was sitting there, I was praying, and I was like, I don't know how we're going to make it through this thing, but please get me through it. And my prayers were so much more immature back then. But
they worked. They're simple.
Yeah, but so I went to the bank, I pulled the checks out of my console. It was $2,000 or $3,000 in checks. And I think at this point, payroll, I don't know, is $10,000, $15,000 a week or something. So when you go and put $2,000 or $3,000 in the bank, it doesn't really.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Doesn't move the needle.
Yeah, you burn through it pretty quick. And I'm like, let me look at my glove box, make sure I got all my checks. And I opened up that glove box, and there's a check in there for like 34 grand from a project that we did like 2 months ago. And somehow it never got put in the bank. And I remember like breaking down, like crying in that parking lot. I'm like, I can't believe this right here. I mean, like, it's going to be okay. Because now at this point, like the 40 grand that's going to the bank, can float a couple payrolls.
Yeah.
And anyway, so and there was also too, like, I kind of got like, just in that season, man, with all that, like, I think getting big head, just kind of get like real complacent and whatnot. Kind of think like I stopped growing for a little while. Kind of just thought like, oh, I got all this thing figured out. And I think the Lord brought me to my knees really quick in that. And that was a really big turning point. And since then, man, I mean, I don't want to go back to that. And I will do whatever it takes in my human will and strength to not go back to that point, because those were very, very scary times. I mean, it was, there for probably a month and a half. I mean, I'm just working. I'm trying to sell. Like, I remember I was calling up people that we did projects for in the past. And I was like, hey, we'd really like to get your maintenance business. If you'd like to pay in the year for full right now, we'll give you 25% off.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of switched to this like customer funded business model. And I remember selling like a couple maintenance contracts, got them to pay for the whole year in full, heavily discounted it. And that was another way that we kind of got through that cash flow crunch right there. But, after work, I was working extremely late hours, like on the weekend. I mean, I wasn't hanging out with anybody. It was very, very dark and tough.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what that year looked like. And in that January of 2022, that's when it started to turn around, and we kind of got out of that rut. And, we used to be so horrible at managing money, so horrible. We've came such a long ways, but that's what that looked like. And I won't ever forget those times. I mean, there was no other way for me to learn those lessons than to go through that. And I think that all of our problems are specifically designed for us in order to shape us and create us into becoming the individuals that we need to become. And so when we hit those hard spots or those speed bumps, man, it's like, embrace it, because there's something in here that you need to learn that you don't have figured out, that you've got to have figured out to be the individual that you're destined to become someday.
That's good, dude. That's good.
Yeah. But man, that was a tough season.
Yeah.
So 2022 was better. And then really, I mean, we've just been wide open on the gas since early 2023. We really got into doing like strategic planning. I got a new right-hand man who's just absolutely incredible. I don't know what I would do without him. And
what is that at your level now? What does the right-hand man look like?
Yeah. So he handles a lot. We need to get some more like account managers and get a construction manager in here to get a lot of this production stuff played off his plate, so he can be more in a proactive role. He's in a very reactive role right now, and it's very tough. But what he does, it's a lot. He is coordinating projects. We've got a really, really competent foreman that's able to order like a lot of materials and coordinate with subs, actually, for him and his other crew. And so, like Russ, I mean, so that's there's so much to that question.
Yeah.
He's coordinating projects. He's handling maintenance customers, like their needs, their requests, their complaints. He's doing hiring. All of our foremen report to him, so he's doing all their evals. He still does a lot of quality control. I still do a lot of quality control. That's one thing. Like, I don't think we've always got to be on that.
And so I was going to ask you. I don't mean to interrupt you, but
yeah.
When did you turn over customer complaints to him versus coming like them making up the ladder to you?
So that was in October of 2023 last year.
Okay. How is that fair? Like, are you far enough removed from the day-to-day operations that that's okay? Like, people don't necessarily associate the business with you; they can associate it with him. Yes and no.
So he's gotten us a good book of business as well. He sells a little bit as well. And the people that he sells to, when they think of the business, they think of him.
Mm.
Some of these people that like he manages now, like I've been working for him since day one.
Mm-hmm.
And they think of me.
They still come to you. Okay.
They still want to reach out to me. And
I
like I got a lady this morning that is emailing me with some frustrations, and I just really don't know. I mean, I have to connect her with Russ because I really just don't know when the guys are there each week. I don't know, and there's that part in time me is like, well, I kind of feel bad for like handing you off, but at the same time, if you sit here and you talk to just me, I can't be real.
He's going to handle it better than I will. Yeah, like I have no answers for you really.
Yeah, and he is really his words and his actions say, but he wants to take as much as that day to day off my plate as possible.
Yeah.
So I can go out there and sell and try to drive new business in.
That's good. That's encouraging because that's kind of where I'm at, and I think that's good. So you'll probably, what would you say, another 5 years if you. I guess sales guys really are. When you get out of day-to-day sales is really when that transition, when you'll be able to like totally get out of the whole, or not totally, but the majority of your customer complaints will not come to you anymore, right? Once you quit selling as much, would that be the case, you think? Like once you have sales guys out there that are like the face of the company or the people that they're interacting with, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, some of the projects that we've done where our employees have sold projects to, I don't hear anything about.
Correct, yeah. So you just got to get to that point to where when you're not selling, that's when that will – because I'm thinking to myself, when do I finally get to the point where I'm not taking customer complaints? Like that's where I'm at. And so what is it?
You a right-hand man that can communicate.
Yeah, yeah.
And he wants to do it. I mean, the stuff that Russ does, man, he was out, he just had a baby a couple weeks ago, and I had to do his role for 2 weeks. And I mean, I didn't want to do any of that stuff. Seriously.
He's good at it. Let him be good at it. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a good operator.
What?
Like, I don't like operating. I like sales. But
yeah. The spot I'm in right now is like I have to get an ops manager in place next year, and it's like figuring out that whole what all do they do. He's still gonna have to be in the field some. He can't just run up, like he can't just run it. He's got to still produce some. The stage of business that we're at. But what does the account manager look like for you? What does that like actually look like?
So there's we use our model is so you have maintenance crews, and then there's a production manager, and there's an account manager. On the organizational chart, they are peers. Okay, so one's not over the other. Production manager is crew facing. They handle the crews, and they are there to serve the crews. Account manager is, think of like your cleaner cut guy, client facing, more sales oriented, and he serves the customers. And so we've intentionally set that up to where one person is not serving two masters, if you will.
So does that account manager still produce anything? Or is it straight overhead?
Yeah, so they will they don't go out there and do any work.
They don't do any work. Okay.
No, they are on our P&L. They're classified as overhead payroll.
So they're sales. They're okay.
But so they're really responsible for three things. Account manager is a very, very, very key position in the landscape business, especially when you start to grow.
Yeah.
And you've got to be able to really get clear, I think, on expectations. It's such a pivotal part of the business. But they do quality control, so property checkups to go by all the properties.
Massive.
Yeah.
Like,
they sell enhancements and customer communication. Those are the three things that they do. So, when they have complaints come in, they sort it out with the production manager. The production manager goes and tells the crews.
Yeah.
The first 2 weeks of the month, they're typically going by and doing property checkups. The last 2 weeks of the month, they're trying to propose all those enhancements that they saw during those first 2 weeks.
That's good. So would you say your like titles here, and forgive me for being so nitpicky, but I think this is good. Like, I think a lot of guys can actually relate to this. Like your production manager, that's just essentially an operations manager, right? Different title.
No, so you think about an operations manager would be over, or you'd really say probably like director of operations. I don't know the textbook term. You could say operations manager.
So ops would be even above the account manager and the
I could send you a picture of our organization
chart. Yeah, that would be cool.
we put a lot of thought into it, and I can send you all those job descriptions for account managers. And honestly, man, if you want to take those job descriptions and post them on your website or something for all these guys, I'd be happy to do that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so ops manager, that's over your AMs and your PMs, and your AM just really works with the PM.
Yeah.
But all your PM works with the crews.
The field. Okay.
So
this is we can wrap up. I don't want to keep going and eating time.
I'm good on time, seriously. So I mean, I'm enjoying it.
So what does your ops manager do on a day-to-day basis?
Lead, manage, hold accountable, account managers, production managers.
Okay.
So
interesting. That's cool. When can you think back to the point where the business made the turn? Maybe it doesn't, right? I'm just where I'm at. I'm like, when are we going to make this turn to where you really start making enough and profiting enough and seeing true growth, like long-term growth? Huh?
October of last year.
Really? That's where these like overhead positions really start to like. Because I'm thinking like these overhead positions. That's what I'm thinking. Like, when you get these like ops manager in place, right? Like, he's not producing you any revenue. So what are you doing? I guess in turn he could be, right? Trickle down effect. He's holding accountable. He's putting good people in place, so on and so forth. But he's not directly.
I think on that management level, number one, like I think those high performing organizations, they always have people that they're always selling. Like you may not be in sales, but you're always selling. You're always helping drive business in. The other thing too, guys, is your account manager, you may pay him 65, 70 grand a year, but that's only like 1,100 a week.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at it that way.
Yeah.
And if you do it and it doesn't work out for 8 weeks, it's not like you've just committed. You know, some people they'll look at their P&L. Okay, I made 150 grand last year. Oh my gosh, this account manager, he's going to take 70 of it. It's like, well, no, he's only costing like 1,100 a week.
Yeah.
Or two, he ought to allow you to make more business.
Yeah. Yeah. They're freeing up your time as you grow, right? Like that, your time can go sell and things. Do you have a sales guy on staff?
No, we've tried to. We've really struggled with it. We've learned a lot each time.
Yeah, that's the common consensus that I hear.
Yeah, it's they're tricky.
Yeah,
I mean, they're tricky, man. I would say I think that what I've learned the most though through hiring these sales guys is a true sales guy. He will get told no 99 times and get told yes one time, and the only thing he remembers from all that is the one time he got told yes, and he's thrilled gun-ho about it.
Yeah.
A non-sales guy is going to get told, 60 no's and 40 yeses, and all they're going to remember is the 60 no's. And that's something that I've learned very, very recently. But, you know, we had to figure out the whole like commissions thing. We had to figure out, you know, like our target market. Like you hire a sales guy, you got to go give him like a target market. You don't want to go selling stuff in blighted communities.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I would say that turning point, that was October 2023 because Russ, he's a great operator. He's great, you know, spreadsheets, data, KPIs. He's got good just time capacity and his like mental capabilities, meaning like he can look down the road into the future and not just be here in this present moment. So
what role is he in? What would you title him on the org chart?
Integrator.
Okay.
So like I'm technically like visionary. Are you familiar with EOS?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're an EOS company. So I'm in the visionary seat.
Yep.
He's an integrator.
Yeah.
Seat. And he's great at that. He's getting more and more into this is really like, you know, I've got all these friends that have really mature companies. They're 40, 50 years old. And so I get to be around them, spend time around them, and have a great example painted of like what's all possible, what I want to be and whatnot. And you know, he's gotten really good at just like financial literacy, and being able to have somebody else that like understands this stuff, man, it's so helpful because like we got to get stuff out of our heads.
Yeah.
We're skilled, you don't get stuff out of your heads. So I'm really, really excited for what the future has to hold for him and I. And, I think another thing too, I think like for the viewers out there, when you're at $500,000 and you go to recruit that right-hand man, because you're such a small organization, you all have to wear a lot of hats, meaning like you may be the owner, but you're selling, you're doing HR, you're doing payroll, you're doing recruiting, you're also the chief mechanic. You have to wear a lot of hats. And so the people that you hire, they need to be flexible people. They need to be able to demonstrate flexibility and I think be competent in multiple areas. Because when you're at 500 grand revenue, there's no money in there to go and hire a full-time office manager and a sales rep and all these positions. So you have to get people that are really flexible and get people too that are willing to grow. What I've realized is like the leaders in our organization, if they're not open to growing, like they just don't make it here. And if they're not open to change, because we're always growing and we're growing so fast. I don't mean like in some money way. I just mean like, I think it's just leadership and just improving ourselves.
Yeah.
That, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Yep.
And, that looks like growth literally can look like reading a book and listening to a podcast and take one thing out of that book and go apply it to your life today. Don't just read it and don't do anything with it.
Take action on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
So, but yeah, that's kind of that in a nutshell. So
I love it, man. I love it. Well, dude, I super appreciate it. Appreciate the time, connecting, talking. Hopefully this is the beginning of a good friendship ahead. I think that you could help a lot of people in the industry, get your voice out there some more, come back on the show again, and help some guys grow. So where can everybody find you, maybe connect with you? Do you have on socials or anything? Where's your company? Talk about that a little bit.
So like I said, we're our company, our full name is Greenview Landscape Services. You can find us on Instagram. I think our page is Greenview Landscape or Greenview Landscape Services. And look for the one in Memphis because there's one guy up in St. Louis and I get this stuff sometimes. And then Facebook too, same way. Jeremiah, you got me on LinkedIn, but yeah, I mean, my email is David@Greenview Memphis. So I love being able to do this kind of stuff. And I think like I love getting poured into. I love being able to pour into other people. So if anybody out there wants to reach out at all, please don't hesitate. Love to talk and connect.
Yeah. Awesome, dude. Well, I super appreciate it. Guys, thank you for tuning in to the show. It means the world that we get to do this show 3 times a week here for you. Have a great guest on like David. Guys, without this like outpouring of community that we have, there would be a lot of people that are not where they are today. There would be much different scenarios, like I have firsthand cases of people that would not be here with us that would end up, there's no telling where they would end up. They would end up a deadbeat 9-to-5 job they hate. It's just that there's a lot of things that have changed because of the outpouring of community that we have here in the green industry. And so super appreciative to each and every one of you. Thank you, David, for coming on and joining along with us. I appreciate it. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Leave us a big 5-star rating or review if you enjoyed the show. It means the world to us. But without any further ado, that's going to wrap this one up. And we look forward to catching everybody here on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.